Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Just wanted to talk about something today that I've been chatting to a friend about recently. And I know it affects a lot of people, so I just wanted to sort of give you my spin on it. Um, Waiting times are a subject that is constantly at the forefront of a lot of this discussion around treatment for trans people. Um, and they're horrendous. There's no two ways about it. It's horrendous. Um, easily sort of 2 years being realistic. Don't get your hopes up. As you might get something a bit quicker than that, but easily 2 years you're going to wait. I'm waiting. I would have waited over 2 years before I actually see someone. I'm still waiting for my first GIC appointment. But am I? That's the question. Am I still really waiting for it? Well, yeah, in that I haven't seen anyone yet. But the reality is, no, I'm not hanging around just sort of on hold until such time as I can see these people. And I think what I mean by that is that, yeah, sure, okay, it is a long wait. And if you just see it as this enormous time where everything's stopped and you can't get on with your life, then that's going to cause problems. But I think that now I'm sort of getting closer to, I've got a date, by the way, and now getting closer to the end of that sort of wait for the initial bit. It's just occurred to me that all that's going to happen is I'm going to have this one appointment, and then I'll be on a wait for a next one, and then I'll be on a wait for a next one, and then waiting list after waiting list after waiting list. And life still has to carry on in the meantime. Risk of saying something a little unpopular, not like me. I'm actually quite grateful that there's been a bit of a period, that there's been a wait. Yeah, I know. Well, bear with me, because I think that it's given me some time to sort of adjust to some changes in my life. It's not a case of, oh, well, I've had to wait just to make sure I'm sure. But there's definitely some serious impacts, and it's helped for me personally. It's helped to have some time to process what a lot of these changes are going to mean, what they look like to me, and to, yeah, okay, again, not about whether or not I'm sure about who I am, because I know who I am, but I'm sure about what that means for me now. And I think it's taken some of the anxiety out of it. I think the phrase I used, and I might be paraphrasing myself a little bit here, but I used a phrase to the effect of, don't think of it as a wait. Think of it as an opportunity to spend some time dealing with some of the actual problems, the processing some of the problems. Being realistic, if this was, as the media occasionally portrays, if this was something where you sort of knock on the door, hi there, yeah, I think I've got some issues with my gender, and before you know where you are, you're, okay, cool, well, so within 5 minutes, here's some hormones, we'll get you surgery next week. As much as at the time that would seem like, oh my God, that's brilliant, problem solved, all it would mean is that you just weren't having the time to process so much of what can change in life. So I guess what I'm sort of saying is try not to worry too much about the waiting, because you've still got your whole life ahead of you afterwards, after you've waited. And you've still got, what's the right words here? Sorry, I'm struggling with the words, because I know this is a difficult subject for a lot of people, and I don't just want to come across as some arrogant bitch. But, you've still got that time during that waiting period. Me, I made a full social transition. I'm living in role and all of these other horrible terms for just being myself. But I've been doing that without having to see the GIC. I haven't had to wait for someone to turn around and say to me, oh yeah, we think you've got gender dysphoria, before I can get on and start living my life. And it's eased the pain, if you like, somewhat. Not just the pain of the waiting, but, a lot of the things that I've changed in my life have helped with a lot of the problem as well. I think that just being able to sort of get on and just make these social changes is worth as much, if not more to me, than seeing a doctor, getting a prescription, however you want to look at it. That's not to say, and not for 1 second, so please don't all just jump on the hater bandwagon, but like, not for 1 second am I suggesting they aren't important things, because they are to so many of us, myself included. But I know it's terrible, and I know it's a long wait, and I know it hurts, but life has to go on in the meantime. Don't let it hold you back. Don't let it stop you from being true to yourself, because it doesn't matter what pills or medications or surgeries or whatever else you have. None of those things are going to be making you any truer to yourself. You know, you can make those changes to be you without having to worry about wait times. Learn more, start today. But I don't know, it's easy said from my position, but don't forget that I've got myself into this position. I've moved myself forward into this position. I've taken steps in my own life that I don't need the GIC for. I've made changes in my life that I haven't had to wait on an appointment to do. I've just made those changes. Yes, there are still significant changes, and there will be a very, very significant wait for those. But that's not, it's not going to hold me back. I'm not going to let it hold me back. And I don't think you should either. There's the other side of it as well, which is the sort of the justification for the wait times. Now, a friend of mine, I don't really want to get too far into this story, but long story short, there are other things that the medical system in this country needs to address. I mean, if someone's has got cancer or is having heart failure, or, you've got children with leukemia, the money only stretches so far, and those people need to be seen possibly a little bit more urgently than I need to be seen. So I can understand that resources only go so far. I don't want to get involved in an argument about the sort of the way things are managed and the way the process is dealt with. Personally, I have my views on that, and I think they could do a lot more with the resources they've got. But all comes back to the original point. It doesn't matter, because there's nothing really holding me back, you back, any of us back, from just taking some steps to be true to ourselves. I hear people saying, oh, I'm going to wait and try a few months of hormones before I make a transition. Or more to the point, actually, better thing, how long do you think I could take hormones for before I'll have to come out? If you're not in a position where you think you can sort of make a life out of your transition, if you're not in a position where you think you can actually go ahead and do what you need to do, then the medication isn't going to change that. It's not going to suddenly change it, least of all overnight, 3 months, 6 months. I mean, look at me, 6 months HRT, and, there's, well, frankly, nothing of me. And barring a sort of a haircut and washing a lot of makeup off my face, there's no real difference physically with me this far down the line. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that in the real world, what that means is that you don't have to wait for hormones to work their magic. You don't have to wait for someone to give you a tick in the box that says that you've got dysphoria. If you're sitting there questioning your gender, if you're watching these videos and questioning your identity, the chances are that you've probably summed up for yourself what the situation is. Do you really need to worry about the wait, the stress, and the time for someone else to say, yeah, fair assessment? I don't think people should. Yeah, I think this might go down as sort of being a little bit controversial, is what I'm saying, to be honest. But basically, I don't think the actual message is too bad. Yeah, you've got a long wait time. There's going to be a long wait. There's going to be a lot of waiting around during this process. So use that time. Use that time to do the things that you can do to make yourself more yourself. And so, end of my little ramble. Sorry, I'm trying to sort of be a bit more open and honest about how I feel about things. And some people won't like what I've got to say. And, I think possibly if I was watching this when I was sort of back in back in that position a couple of years ago, I'd be like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. No, it's not easy for me to say. It's taken me a long time and a lot of thinking and a lot of understanding and processing to get to a point whereby I've realised a lot of the things that I'm talking about. You know, if I had known then what I knew now, and unfortunately, there's no way to enact that. So all I can really do is share what I'm learning with you and hope that it helps. Guys, it helps me anyway to get this stuff off my chest. So thank you so much as ever, guys, for continuing to watch, to like and to subscribe. Let me know what you think. You might think I'm completely full of it, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that, you know, oh yeah, but it's disgusting, whatever. Just, I don't care if there's positive comments, negative comments. I just want to hear what you guys think. So yeah, please keep doing it. Please keep liking, subscribing, comments. All welcome, guys. Thank you so much for listening once again, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.